Landlord, I'm sorry to say, is a stupid motherfucker. He should die.
That girl or that woman might not have money, but she tell you know what, I believe in you. Yeah. I believe we shall do this. We shall.
Got 99 problems and.
Anxiety is literally all of them.
Bwana, how do you deal with your problems? I've listened to you throughout the day. You're very articulate. Are your problems articulate? So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Maskani Podcast. We are here live in Nakuru with our friends who are all men, and we are going to be talking about issues that affect men. So, I'm here with the Gak, Kwajnala, as you know him on Facebook.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. His other government name is George. And then I'm with UBA. No, UBA. I'm with Uber, friend of ours from here in Nakuru. Thank you very much I want to thank you for organizing this whole thing. If it was not for you, we don't know what we should have done. And I want to specifically thank you on behalf of Maskani Podcast for the good job that you have done. My name is Udur Jagero. My government name is Ken. And so we just want to talk about why men cry in the bathroom, why men cry under the pillow, why men feel that I don't want to share my thoughts with another man. You know, I have this crazy thing that is going on in my life. My brother died the other day, about 3 months ago. And when he died, he was from visiting me in Nairobi. You know, so when he's going back home, he gets into a grisly accident and dies. Just about 3 kilometers from our home, all the way from Nairobi, and then dies 3 kilometers before he reaches our place. And so when he dies, I realized that there is a lady that he called for 4 hours that dawn before he traveled home on very, very serious issues that he never told me as a brother. So I don't know why he decided to tell this lady as a confidant or whatever, but all those things that he was dealing with, he never got to share them with any other man that I know. So I think that goes to tell you that a lot of these things there are so many things that's a lot of spent up anger, a lot of spent up pain that we harbor inside of us and we don't share with anyone. George, I want to start with you. Uber, I don't want to, shock you with this, but I'm going to also ask you if you have ever had, a situation whereby you don't want to share it with anyone. George, have you been in that kind of situation? Do you want to talk about it, or if you just don't want to talk it, do you want to say that you have been in such kind of situation?
Naturally, I'm loud. I'm loud when talking about issues that do not matter specifically to me. Issues that are important to the community, issues that affect other people. I'm the one you can come to for advice. Ninja, I'm going through this and this and this. What can I do? But when it's now my problems, I like the people to talk to. Yeah. Or sometimes I just don't know how to put them in terms that make them seem lighter. Yeah. There's that feeling of, okay, if I take these problems and heap them on someone else's, what does it do to them? And most times you find that when you even master the courage to talk about it, you put people in situations that you don't like to put them in. Like you find that you've shared your problem with someone and they are aching to help. Yeah. They feel like, Gak is my ninja and he's now going through this now. How do I help him? I can't help him, and he knows I can't help him. But he's again shared this with me. Now what do I do? So it's a bad place to put someone in. And naturally, I'm the kind of person that deals with his problems first, at a personal level, mostly.
Like you don't want to share it with anyone?
Yes, I don't like sharing.
And you're my friend. Your sensitivities are very high. I think.
You know me, yeah?
Yeah. And, there are things that,
that I worry about that nobody else. That you
Yes.
think I should be worried
Yeah,
about.
and you know, there is a way in our village. There is you can be warned when it has rained up the mountain,
Yeah.
and the river is likely to swell.
Yes.
So the people that have gone on the other side to cut papyrus reeds
Yeah.
are told that, you know what, it has rained on the other side and need to come out.
Yeah.
So I feel like some people do not say anything until it swells.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
river swells too much. Oba, have you been in that kind of situation whereby you're feeling like I am in this thing?
Yeah.
You know, the kind of things that were being read on the sheets of paper,
Yeah.
you know, an hour ago.
Yeah, and I think it's so many times, and a lot of people complain. I think not a lot of people like in public, but then people that are close to me, in the sense that I'll share after. You know, I'll tell them, 3 months ago I almost killed myself.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, what? When was this? And so many times it has come to a point that I'm actually struggling,
Yeah.
but then I have to do a gig. So I'm there on stage, I am emceeing, and the joke is actually a reality.
Yeah.
And people are just like, that's funny. And you're like,
Yeah.
that's my reality. But then people don't know. And you go back to your personal space, go back to wallow in your solitude and silence and all that. And I guess just like Kwaj, it's nikimwambia alafu. And then for me, I find that I am easy to listen to other people. So I have a bunch of people who share with me their problems. So I know all your problems.
Yeah.
So I think, hey, Jagero has all this crap he's dealing with.
Yeah.
So how do I come and dump my crap on top of his crap?
Yes.
So even though you're the person I trust most, I feel I don't want to burden you because you already have so much on your plate. So I burden you. Yeah.
For me, I always have this feeling that another fellow man can't help me. I am beginning to think otherwise. In the last, I am very good friends with Kwach right now, and with Rick Sonyango, and with two other people, And I think in the last 1 year, that's when I have started recognizing properly that I can always share my problems with other men. But before that, I think it also goes back to the kind of loneliness that I had when I went to Nairobi. I was so much alone in Nairobi for a very, very long time, and I was very traumatized. I had a guy talking about OCD, compulsive disorder. I thought I had that in Nairobi because it was of some problems I was having. First of all, I did not have school fees. My mother died 5 months into my college. My father had died before that. So I came to Nairobi. I'm new in Nairobi. Then suddenly 5 months into being in Nairobi, my parent died. I'm a total orphan. The place where I'm staying is shit. There is no food there. There is basically nothing there. So I started having this coat around me that is this, I don't know what you call it, Riggs, but this hardness. You develop this hardness. And even up to now, sometimes I find myself, I have to pinch myself because I don't feel sorry for a lot of things. For example, my mother died of a disease that I call it a poverty disease. She died of chronic typhoid. And then my father died of something I don't understand. I don't know it up to now why he died, because he was feeling very okay. And then my brother died of sickle cell anemia. So I have always, those 3 deaths hit me so hard that it did something to me.
Yeah.
So much so that when people tell me that somebody has died, I don't have a reaction to it.
Yeah.
So that is that. But then the other question is now, Oba, how do you deal with what is killing you? If you find it difficult to tell it to another man or somebody that is close to you, how do you deal with what is killing you?
I think last year was when I started really thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I realized, you just move on. Like your carpet is a heap of all the problems you've swept under. You just move on, you just keep doing life. Look for the next struggle, look for the next thing to do, and keep doing life, But then I think once you start doing self-reflection, you start understanding why you need to sit down and deal with the issues, because now it is now affecting all your relationships.
Yeah.
I was sharing with Rix, I think a year or two back, about my desire to work with people, work with men, create safe spaces for people struggling. And I think one thing he mentioned, and I really took it to heart, was self-care, which was never something
What is self-care?
Self-care is just generally asking after yourself. We can ask after everyone else, but never really ask after ourselves. And then once knowing we are not in a good place, to take time to work on the issue or the problem. I can't say that I'm there 100%, but looking towards going for therapy so that I'm able to start dealing with that, and looking for individuals that I am able to freely share without, that thing of, hey, huyu ataenda kunisema. Ndakutana na someone, online, or I'll be listening to a sermon and hear my story there. Because I've had my story in a sermon before. So I have issues with sharing with pastors.
Yes.
So.
Agak, how do you deal with what is killing you?
Well, as I just told you, I think through a lot of my problems on my own, especially if let's say there are financial problems. Thinking through isolating myself now gives me the time to really think the figures. Sometimes when something hits you, you just see the big figures. Like a short story. I was having a problem with my landlord a few days ago, and my landlord, I'm sorry to say, is a stupid motherfucker. He should die. That ninja would just come out of nowhere and take out my water bill. And I don't have bills. The bills that I have are the bills that he's trying to keep on me, because a motherfucker who lived in that house before, didn't pay the water bills. And he knows, he can tell, that by this time I was charging, this bill was accumulating. This ninja was living in this place, but in a different house. But he doesn't understand that. So that ninja, I was really frustrated to a point where I had to see the tribunal, to go to the tribunal. And when I went there, they wrote me that letter that they write, you pay for it then. And then I came with that letter and gave it to them. You pay for a letter that's written by the land tribunal? Yes, you pay. You even pay you even pay a lawyer to draft you a court order so that they can open your door, So I go there, I take that letter, come with it, and then what they do, they go to the chief and accuses me of something that is not related to the problem that we are discussing. And their immediate solution is to evict me immediately. No, they don't give you that grace period that you normally get. So I was in that situation and I'm like, damn, what am I going to do now? Moving to a new house costs a lot of money and stuff like that. And when you think about it, you're just thinking of enormous figures. But then when you now take the time to go through it on your own, you're thinking through it, your door is locked, you're thinking, what does this ninja now think? You're locking my door, I don't even owe you nothing, But then when I thought about it and began to take notes, I realized, okay, the month already go katikati, so wherever I'm going, I can negotiate. I don't need to pay the full rent, You look into the list of the people you can talk to. I talked to this ninja about it, and this ninja sent me some money. So I'm like, kumbe kitu, it was something that could be solved. So just isolating yourself, it's not the best thing to do, actually. It's good to be open, because when you're open, you're opening doors to different solutions, different avenues for these things to be solved. But when you isolate, you also get the clarity that you need, the clarity into the problem. So I sat and looked and worked the figures and realized that, oh, Lordy, the money I have can take me a long way, can help me solve this problem. So sitting into it, and then you have a lot of people in your life, You have your brothers, you have your sisters, you have your friends. And when you're just thinking, can this person help me? Can this person help me? it's vague. Like there's just a lot of people to think about. But when you sit now, you can narrow them down to the few people whom you believe can help you. You know, so you're making the calls, and when you do that, it's more effective. It's more effective.
Okay, great. So we want to open it to the audience. I want to start with Riggs. Riggs, you know you are supposed to be here on this table, but we have the gracious
I can't see him.
taking your fault. I want you to talk about. He's a therapist, Uba. You know that.
Yeah.
If you have problems, you can always go to Riggs. You know, I have always had a problem. I've always had a problem with therapists. You know, for no apparent reason. So Riggs, there are two issues here. There is the fact that we don't want to share our problems, and there is the fact that these things can be killing us. And so, what is the first step basically to take when something is hurting you, and you don't want to share it with anyone? You just don't know what to do.
Well, the first step is to accept that you're hurting, because I think one of the things with men that we struggle is even to accept that this thing is happening to me, that it's actually happening to me, to somebody like me. This thing is actually happening to me. Yeah. I have lost a brother, I have lost a job, I have lost a relationship, or somebody has stolen money from me, I've been scammed, you know, and I thought I'm so intelligent, I can't be scammed, you know, those kind of things. Or I've been mugged in town, or all those stuff, to just accept that, hey, this has happened. I just need to acknowledge this has happened. For me, without going into too much detail, that is the first step. Yes, acceptance is the first step.
I want to talk to this brother of mine and ask him: Have you been in a situation whereby you're feeling what should I do?
Well, I didn't know that I'll be. It's a good one. I'll be as practical as possible.
Yeah.
I have a personal relationship with God, so that is my first guy I go to. I close my door and ask Maze, you've brought this. You number one. Yeah. I came to this earth, so you knew why I came, and the far that I've come, and I believe also my brother. There's something that unakuja unambia, okay, God, now let's have a conversation. You know, this is a situation, and you see, most of the time that we, I always say, most of the time that we find ourselves in a hard rock. Yeah. That's where we come to our mind. When you are fixed on the corner, that's when you come to our mind and now start thinking, how do we maneuver? How do I maneuver out? But for me, I cry out to God first, because even calling you, for you to come through for me, it causes God for you to hear my story and get touched and say like, wow, this guy. You know, people have never known that there's an aspect of God in everything that we do. And when I am undergoing through stress, for me to call Uber, it takes that step of faith, because even I love the way Uber was so honest and saying like, hey, may I fear sharing with some pastors, because you'll be the story of them.
Yes.
But if you share with God, where will your story be told? You know, that's someone who sees in secret and gives you that name. The other thing, I always say why I don't share with my fellow men is because for us it's about value. It's like for us, that's why you see like we like football. Men, we like football because it's about scores. It's about you know, it's about winning. It's about you know. So if I don't get value, and I ask you when I'm in a problem, and you don't come through for me, I feel like even telling you what is disturbing me is useless. So as much as you might not have money, an example is last year when my family to lock your house. Let me tell you, there's this one person that I called in the morning. He never gave money, but that assurance, like, Jemo, let me tell you, today you're going to sleep back to your house. You know, I believe, and I might not have money, but I'm standing with you in prayer. And let me tell you, it happened that I slept back. So sometimes it's not about even solving a problem, but just hearing me. You know, that having that person who, a burden sharer, you might not give him money, but you can give me that knowledge and say, like, I'm with you, bro. Not like far away. I have a friend who comes to me, and I'm like, let's work together with you. If you're looking for money, let me look for money with you. You might not have money, but by the virtue of just being there. So myself, I know most of us men, it's about what the value that we can work together. Can I share my burden with you? Can you help me? Even in a small way, you might not even help, but by the virtue of accepting who I am. Because some of us as men, we feel like, if Uber calls me, najua tu Uber ni shida. Nanga kitu ingine ananiambia, you know.
Sina.
You know, at the end of the day. So you find as men, when it's funny that I'm not trying to acknowledge women, but that girl or that woman might not have money, but she tell, you know what, I believe in you. I believe we shall do this. We shall. Right. Yeah, it's good to be right. Sometimes you don't want to even. Sometimes our problem can be solved by just being told you can do it. Yeah. So for me, it's about how we approach each other as men.
Great. My good man, how are you doing? So you have got 99 problems and
anxiety is literally all of them.
Bwana, how do you deal with your problems? I've listened to you throughout the day. You are very articulate. Are your problems articulate? Go ahead.
So how do I deal with my problems? Deal with them as a man? Meaning, it's unfortunate or it's fortunate, but we are very good at compartmentalizing our problems. So I know that there are certain problems that if I have, I know who to approach. And also the good thing is that I've also gotten to a space where I also know how to seek professional help if it's a problem that is professional help.
Like a therapist.
Therapy, seeing a doctor. Sometimes it's not about, like, it's good we say about sharing, but also we also have to understand, does the person have the capacity? Do they have the knowledge to be able, because you can also sometimes burden someone. Not in a bad way, like we're saying that you're burdening them, but also you can bring problems to someone that they are not in a space to handle it. So I have been able to learn how to seek resources, both as an individual also, because sometimes you need to be able to have that capacity to seek resources as yourself, to learn more. It's not just about telling people your problems and seeking solution. You also have to have that self-awareness to understand, how can I grow as a person in this situation? How can I learn more and be able to also be a resource myself?
Okay. So thank you very much. I want to give a chance to two people to, if they know how they deal with their problems. There are people that want to speak. There we go.
Mbunga, should you tell us something?
I know one way how not to. And that is social media. So as we were setting up for the podcast, I just went through my Twitter, and a boy had written that he's not able to raise his fees and he's ready to sell his kidneys. And one, Andrew Kibe just asked, where are my kidney buyers, and the laughing emojis. And now there is a thread of auze hata macho afanye nini. Social media tends to catalyze the issues, and so I'm learning as a man, even though I have issues, that is one place that I don't consider so safe. And then number two is, another reason I might not share my issues with fellow men is, one, I don't know what they're going through, and sometimes I tend to think that if I'm going through this, maybe my fellow man is going also almost the same thing. And then women, don't have so much boundaries. We joke a lot, we talk a lot. It's not like ladies who know, hey, Karo, kianza history anaweza simp. Wanaume tunaga hizo, we joke about everything. So unaweza kuja leo niambie Benito jana nilala njaa. Niambie wewe unalalamika leo, mimi nimelala siku 3 njaa my friend. Na nakulaga ugali na chumvi. Fast Buddha. So that's if I start thinking about that, I prefer nibaki hivyo.
I want to ask King a specific question. I know you are an activist here in Nakuru. You speak with a lot of men and interact with a lot of them. I wanted to ask, what has been your experience dealing with men in Nakuru? Because here we are in Nakuru and we want to know about the men in Nakuru. Do you have an experience? Ama watu wanakujua kweli?
When you say my experience dealing with men, in what area am I not?
In issues of life. In issues of life, yes.
Okay.
Mtu ana rent, mtu ako kwa shida, ameachwa na bibi. Is there a safe house you know that is there in Nakuru where if you have a problem you can run to?
Well, first of all, I think it depends with how close I am to the person.
Yeah.
Mostly, if in cases we are not related or close to the person, maybe it's when it comes to legal matters or civil matters, when it has to involve the police or seeking justice, where I refer them to spaces or to areas where I know they'll get help.
Yeah.
But also in Nakuru we have organizations who have therapists on retainer.
Yes.
So people who need these services,
they're retained by
the organizations, by the NGOs.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So people who need therapy, who need mental health services and can't afford them, they can get help from these counselors who are put on retainer. But we also have an organization that deals purely with mental health, where we refer people there. If you're under 35 and you are unemployed, you'll get free consultation and therapy at very very subsidized price. Even medication, if you'll get to see psychiatrists, you'll get to see therapists. Yeah, but if there are people that are close to me, I guess ni kuangalia tu if I have the ability at that time to come through, I come through. Also, if I don't have, because I have a network of friends. We are about 10. Yeah, mostly because people are far. Mostly we are on WhatsApp, but we actually check on each other. We actually meet from time to time, and if it's an issue kama hiyo, then we if I raise my issue to one person, then they'll go themselves, waende kando, waongee kando, without me being there, and solve it, then come up with a solution. But if it's beyond us, then we just talk it through and tunakula nyama na because we'll debate. Your rent is 10,000, but I only have 1,000. But this 1,000 won't help.
Yes.
But at least let us have a full stomach.
To deal with the issue tomorrow.
Thank you very much, King. We don't have time to go on with this podcast. We want to wrap it up, Uba. And as a man in Nakuru, I would like you to give your last remarks. If you know any help that men that are having people that they can talk to. And then we'll end it with Kwajala.
I think for me, I remember a program I did like a year or two, I think 2 years ago, and one statement it said that with men, we have so many men with us, but very few for us. You know, in the sense that
men with us.
With us, you know. Not with us. You had with us.
Yes.
With Sisi. Pamoja na sisi.
Pamoja na sisi. That's good to clarify.
Tuko na wanaume wengi ambao wako pamoja na sisi. Lakini hawako na sisi.
Exactly.
In the sense that tuko, lakini vita ikitokea, wewe unabaki peke yako. So we really struggle a lot alone. And I think for us especially, this is a beginning, the beginning of a beautiful journey. I do conversations online every Monday, known as Mental Health Mondays.
Yeah.
And the desire for this year and a few friends of mine is to focus on, so basically men go into a cave.
Yeah.
You know, it's called the man cave, and they go there to deal with their issues alone mostly. So my desire is to now begin, and I hope this will be the beginning of that, to start a man cave Monday thing. So where men get to go to that cave, but not alone, with other men, and have conversations and be able to find solutions. And even if not find solutions, find reprieve and, have an uzito upungue, you know. And I think, as Mbunge has said, there are organizations that are there and willing and ready to support men, not just men, but individuals undergoing different struggles. And for men out there, if you're in Nakuru and you'd like to plug into any of these conversations, you just hit any of us up, Mbunge or I, and we'll be able to either plug you in and or find you a community that fits the person that you are, because we are all different, and even as we desire to be part of a community that looks like could help us, it might not be the best fit for us. So to also help us find spaces that are good for us and can be able to help us grow into, better and healthier men mentally. Yeah.
Great, thank you very much, Uba. Aga, your last words?
Before my last words, you brought out something that I'd like to ask. You talked of do we have a safe house, where people can just go and get this help? And intriguing, I want to know, do men go through their problem? Do men isolate themselves when they are going through tough times because there aren't enough safe spaces to talk about these things? Or even if there are, there isn't an awareness about them. Like Mubunga says that there is an organization that deals with mental health issues here. How many men in this crowd, these are Nakuru people, how many people in this crowd know of the existence of such organizations? Just by show of hand.
These people in Nakuru know.
Four people. So is it do men isolate themselves because they choose to isolate themselves to deal with these things solely, or is it because there aren't enough spaces?
I think that's a good question, Mr. Gap, but I don't think we have time to answer it right now. I think we can.
That is my parting shot.
Yeah, that's in a question form, right?
All right.
Oh, great.
Okay,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining Maskani podcast live in Nakuru. We found so much love in Nakuru. Oba, thank you very much. And all of you guys that came and sat with us for the entire day, we want to thank you on behalf of Maskani from the bottommost part of our hearts. Rix, I want to thank you for being at the center of this. Without you, we don't know if we were able to connect with Uba. You are that connector that connects all of us with our friends in Nakuru. So thank you very much. You can always watch other videos that we do. You like our Facebook page. You can follow our YouTube channel. And until another video, thank you very much, and goodbye for now.